Other news now, at least 6 people have been killed in the latest anti-government protest in Iraq, pushing the death toll to more than 200. Protests turned violent as security forces fired tear gas at the demonstrators. 3 Iraqis were killed on Saturday after being hit in the head by the tear gas canisters fired by security forces at a protest in Baghdad's central Tahrir Square. Some protesters were killed when members of Iran-backed militia opened fire at them when they tried to set fire to the group's office. Protests have also gripped cities of Amara and Basra, while capital Baghdad has emerged as the major center of the demonstrations, which have punished Iraq towards its worst political unrest since the fall of the Islamic State back in 2017. Protesters in oil-rich Iraq are demanding jobs and basic amenities like water and electricity. However, the demonstrations continue to go out of hand as the government responds with brute force. Now, after the situation calmed down, one Iraqi woman was seen celebrating her birthday on the streets with the protesters. She even brought a cake to show her support for them. Seems that extracting the military from Syria is turning out to be more complicated than Donald Trump is making it out to be. Trump may claim that US is completely pulling out of Syria, but the reality on the ground is very different. We are saying this because the United States is sending armored vehicles and combat troops into eastern Syria. They claim it as a move to keep the oil fields from falling into the hands of the Islamic State. The announcement was made by US Defense Secretary Mark Esper. Esper issued the statement after meeting with Turkish Defense Minister. The meeting took place in Brussels.
Ultimately, we always intended, as the President directed, to maintain a presence at the Antanf garrison. As I've said over the past several days, we are also considering how we might reposition forces in the area in order to ensure we secure the oil fields. We are now taking some actions, I'm not going to get into the details, to strengthen our position at Dar Azar to ensure that we can deny ISIS access to the oil fields, because we want to make sure that they don't have access to the resources that may allow them to strike within the region, to strike Europe, to strike the United States. So we are reinforcing that position. It will include some mechanized forces. Again, I'm not going to get into details. But the mission in Syria remains what the mission in Syria began with. It's always been about defeating the ISIS coalition.
A fact is that U.S. officials are worrying that Iran-backed forces in Syria could also capitalize on the chaos. But let's not forget that the vacuum left by Trump's partial withdrawal has created an opening that Russia exploited by moving forces into the area. Russian military police personnel continue to arrive in Syria to patrol the northeastern areas along the border with Turkey. The latest battalion of military police comprises of 300 and it comes from the Chechnya. They are in fact overseeing the pullout of Kurdish fighters from there. Over 20 armored vehicles have also been airlifted for the mission.